I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this hair.
Episode 4.
Here we go.
So, guys, keeping it going.
Happy
Cheers.
Margarita Day. buddy.
Margarita Day.
I had no idea until my wife told me.
So, today's episode, pet peeves. Man, what are those things that get on your nerves? Things we did and believed as a kid that were completely wrong. Then we're going to go deep into the apocalypse. Are we built for it? And then, could we survive as our younger selves? Yeah, going back saying, if I'm 18 again, could I do this?
No.
Relive high school, know what I know now, right? So
That sounds like a good time.
So, again, shout out to Mr. Grant Ade for the music, man.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. The intro kills, man. It makes me smile every time.
So, all right, well, we're getting right into it. So, episode 4. So, man, we're making this happen.
Yeah.
It's been exciting so far.
Rocking and rolling with it this week, especially.
We've got
Since your family has been slowly withering away with the flu, man.
It's been a big sickness.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm going to go into pet peeves.
Yeah, what you got, Cody? I bet you don't have any. Yeah. Yeah,
The clicking.
For sure.
So, there's this thing called misophonia. And the word, when I first heard the word, I was like, it almost sounds like something someone horny would say. You know, hey, like, this guy's horny. He's talking about misophonia. What are we talking about, right? But no, it's actually like when noises go on your nerves. When you start hearing this, and you're like, that's all you can focus on.
Smacking food, one of those.
It's one of them.
That's my pet peeve. Can't stand it.
So you know, and I work in an environment where like these alarms go off all day. Beep, beep, beep. And it's like, I just want to go and like break them. And I hate noises. And the older I get, like I get so frustrated with the noises.
It's getting worse.
Yep. Even like if you notice, like when my kids go out in people's houses or even in my house or out in public, and they've got their tablets.
You got a little echo in the background, and
have you noticed that mine are always on like hardly no volume? There's two kind of parents.
Knox trained on that.
There's the kids with their volumes turned all the way up. Can't stand. And then there's like my kids who suffer because they can't hear it. I'm like, you got to learn to read lips.
Yeah. Read the subtitles. We'll turn
turn the subtitles on. Learn to read.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we'll go out to eat, and so you probably had to. Hey Jay, you mind turn this down for me?
Jay's the world's worst about blaring it, which I don't know. He's not deaf. He's got selective hearing.
But some parents can like tune it out, right?
Yeah.
You go out to eat, and there's like Munchkin over here. Do you want to hear him cry, or do you want to hear him watch Bluey?
Sure, and it's different between man and woman. So like my youngest one, he's crying and whining about nothing, and it drives her up the wall. She just can't take it, right? I, however, can tune that out just fine. But it's like Jaden's over slurping on his drink out of the glass, and I'm just
you're ready to just knock the glass off the table.
Dude, quit it. Stop.
And I apologize to the listeners. One of the pet peeves in podcasting, ice in cups. Nobody wants to hear us drink, but you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to enjoy this margarita.
We are.
Enjoy one with us if you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
sacrifices.
And like my dad, I think I said this one of the other episodes. I got a keyboard for Christmas, and like I can just only imagine. Like he's watching a football game, and I'm over here like, I think I can play keyboard, right? And I'm over here just hitting buttons.
Jaden's guitar.
You don't like it?
No, I ain't gonna hurt us.
But you can't. You don't know how to play yourself, right?
No, I do not.
So it's like you can't teach him.
But
it's tough to learn.
I cannot sing. I'm very aware of that.
There's a reason that I'm not recording me as a solo, vocalist right here.
Sure. Yeah.
But, yes. So noises bug the stew out of me. I have to mute my kids. And I like
clutter
to be quiet.
Kills me, and I think we touched on that in the first or second.
Like just random clutter in the house and
but
the
then
cars.
You get the toys and stuff, and you just like, that's a part of it. But man, it's like everything should have its place, but it's never going to.
Right? In some places I've worked, they've tried to outline like this is where your stapler goes. I play this. I work in an office a lot, and I haven't I've worked on the floor too, so like I know where I've came from, and so I have sympathy for those that do work on the floor. But it's like so many people in roles go out and they say, okay, we're gonna mark off where you put your garbage can. This is where you put your table. And it's like, I can only picture like people that work on the line are being like, I'm going to go in that motherfucker's desk and I'm going to tape out where his garbage can goes. Yeah. You're not supposed to put your drink there. You know, it's.
Yeah, it's a little overkill sometimes, especially in those big plants and stuff, I think. I remember going through the 5S thing and it just, why? Which I'm a disorganized. I live in the chaos.
So what about something that you really love that everybody else hates?
I don't know if I've really got anything like that. Not off the top of my head. I would, me being disorganized. Like my workspace is a good example. You know, if I get a new guy with me, he's like, "Hey man, where's this?" And I'll tell you exactly where it is. But if you walked in there and just without that little bit of info from me, you're like, "How in the hell does he know where anything is?" But I just have that, hey, I seen the remote sticking out of the corner of the couch last night, so now I know where the remote is.
See what, remotes are getting smaller.
Yeah.
Easy to lose.
Yep.
I dropped one down on the couch the other day, and if I wouldn't have felt it hit my finger as it fell through at the armrest and to the bottom of the couch, it fell all the way to there's like this black material that goes on the bottom of the couch.
Yeah, the little fabric.
And I had to cut a hole in that. They call it like a dust cloth. And I had to like reach my hand under the dust cloth. I think I had like 10 years of like memories that I'm touching with dust and coins
and you find all kinds
stuff
of
that falls out of pockets. Yeah. The little things. And it's like, then I find the remote.
Yep. I've been seeing the guys like on, I don't do TikTok, but I've been seeing the other ones. They'll tie like a ruler, you know, like the gas station key. The bathroom gas station key.
I'm gonna get a ribbon. I've been looking for like a ribbon of fabric or something to put on it.
Put an air tag on it.
And then I'll lose it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, another bit of money gone.
So there's a lot of like I think the noise pet peeves are where mine mostly fall into.
It can definitely get overwhelming and overstimulating at times.
You know, I see some trends. You know, I think a lot of parents are seeing like there's new trends now, like with hair.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody wants perms.
All the white boys are getting perms. Yep. No,
mine's wanting one too.
Yeah,
and some kids look cool with them.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I think it's better than the swishy shit we did.
Right.
I was in the Justin Bieber, and you had the big long bangs, and everybody walked around just like.
See, I never could get mine to do that. I wound up parting my hair, and I'm looking back because I thought I could do a bowl cut. Oh, yeah. But when I look back, I look like a freaking penis head. Yeah, I had a big dick on the top of my head. I'm looking back, what the hell happened with you?
Oh, you parted it straight down the middle?
Straight down the middle.
Wow, nobody told you?
Nope. And I had a big brother that moved in with me, and it was like,
oh, well, he's a big brother. He's definitely
not gonna tell you. My dad he didn't have any style.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like my sister's getting put in beauty pageants that she's winning, like she's bringing in 6-foot trophies, and like then nobody's telling me, dude, you're walking out of the house and you look like a dick. Don't even have to act like one. I look like one.
Yeah, helps her get those trophies.
So all my easier. All my friends from back in the late 90s and early 2000, fuck y'all. One of y'all should have stepped up and said, "Hey, man."
A good friend would have told him. A good friend would have told him.
Yeah, because then I start, when you put sort of gel in it, and then you stand in front of the mirror, you got to make everything perfect. I think so. Damn. A little mousse.
Oh wow, you was doing everything you could not to get any, huh?
And then puberty really hit in, and then I started spiking it. Right,
nice.
And
I think I did that.
I think that's when the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC started coming out.
No,
and
when I was,
you started doing the. What is it? The little highlights?
Pre-puberty. I remember wearing diapers. The cap and getting my hair pulled through the cap and bitching about it through the whole process.
Yeah, because you're probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, I was probably
in the late 90s, right?
Oh no, dude, I wasn't born until 95.
It's still in diapers.
Yeah, yep. But I know what look you're talking about. Yeah.
You ever seen a picture of me from my dork days?
I don't know. I've seen your old football picture.
Yeah. You know what? I got an annual picture. I went through some annuals a while back, and I feel really like if I can go back and kick myself in the ass or something. Sure. So we're standing it was in the band room, and we're all standing in line to get our picture. So the whole class is in there. We're only about 100-something kids, and there's probably 2 grades. So you probably got 200 kids standing in line. It smells like, half the kids at this point in time, were early high school. Half the kids didn't wear deodorant. It just, you're in the band room, so we're all, nerding out. And I played in the band too. Played football and then had jumped in the band, then jumped back out. But so I'm standing in there and I see this kid with glasses on. I was like, hey, can I borrow your glasses? And so, I think either Halloween was right around the corner or just happened. And so I had some Bubba teeth.
I remember those too. Yeah, you get them out of the quarter machine.
Yep. And so you stick them in. So I walked up, sit in the chair. I look like a friend. I'm not smiling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing some of these big ass glasses, and I sit there, and the guy's like, "All right, smile." And he holds up the little thing to go click, and he goes, "All right, smile again." I was like, and he goes, and you could see that look on his face. He was like, "You mother," because he's like, "Those are." Everybody knew what I was about to do. They all busted out laughing.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be the class clown.
Yeah.
So he gets pissed. He's like, "You're taking another one. Take those out."
Yeah.
So I took the Bubba teeth out, and I'm laughing. Got
As
a
if
shit-eating grin.
That tail that there was
Yes,
something going
like my
on.
mouth looks full.
Yeah.
And then he takes another picture. But you know what I forgot to take off?
The glasses.
The glasses.
Nice.
So now I've got an annual picture with some random person's glasses on.
Yeah,
And it's
that's a
there
good
forever.
one, though. That's a good one. I don't think I ever goofed off in any of my yearbook pictures.
They last forever. Like,
yeah.
you know, so when I go back, you know, that's another one of those
That's
things.
iconic.
Like,
And
you know,
there's some of your classmates that probably still think, who is that kid?
well, no, none of them are going to remember that. Like, it's probably me that remembers
Yeah,
that.
possibly.
And they're all looking like, oh, I didn't know you wore glasses.
Yeah, they'll look through their yearbook and on their 40th, and they're like, "Who the hell is this kid?" Yeah.
So, all right. So what are some other crazy fads you can think of that we've?
The squatted truck thing, but that's when they get older. We haven't had to deal with nothing crazy like that.
No.
But
So-
I mean, Lord,
We did we didn't squat one side, we squatted both sides. So like when I was
that's
16,
cool. Low riders,
like we live in Colt. So Coleman had a strip that you could cruise.
mm-hmm.
And we used to love to cruise. Like
Shopping center. To
you're
shopping
15,
center.
16 years old, 17 years old.
Yeah.
You're driving to one shopping center,
Yeah.
you know, like where the
Who's here? At
Belks
this
and
one?
things. And like
Yeah.
before like Publix was there was like a Chinese restaurant, you know, and it's so like the whole place looked different. And so we'd drive through, go around. You're looking for a car full of girls. I got a car full of guys.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
and then you're going like 25 miles an hour. Grandma's like getting pissed off because you're driving so slow.
Yeah. You can't hit a pothole.
Yeah. But even not in the lowriders, like there was like, you know, people were in their Mustangs and you know,
Was y'all
trucks.
cutting the cools out of the springs, like cutting
See,
two loops?
I had I was driving around like, I think it was a 97 F-150. It was when F-150 first changed its body style. I thought it was all that in a bag of chips. Riding around in a cool Mustang. I put a black light up between the visors, 12-volt black light. So like the truck was kind of glowing cool.
You want to know what I did with my little Colorado? I took a blue Sharpie and I could not find a bulb. I had floor lights, interior lights that would like blue and this and that, and I could not find a bulb for that interior light. So I colored the lens blue and Sharpie.
Try to give it that color.
It did. It worked. Yeah, it looked pretty good.
So AutoZone had like these music activated lights.
Oh yeah.
And so like, and I got red. So I also had like a Grand Prix was a big car that I loved having. Like my dad
mom
bought
had
one.
2 of those.
And so I started driving it, and in the floorboard, I changed all the little bulbs to red. So when you open the door, everything glowed red. And then when you're driving down the road, I put the LED that it's not really LED. I don't know what it was, but it's like a tube. And so every time the music hit, like it would pulse and get bigger and get brighter.
You was waiting to get pulled over.
So as I turn it on, like my interior of my car, which if you think about the Pontiacs of the 90s, a lot of their dash was like a red amber color, if that makes sense. So it really kind of like went with the color of the car.
Yeah, it seems like I remember that.
So every time the bass is hitting, my floorboard's lighting up. Man, I was like a little dance studio in there, right?
Yeah,
my
sure.
black lights, my little strobing colored lights. And then one time, you know, I thought it was cool. You could cut your fog lights on and your headlights off. I was driving down Coleman, got a freaking ticket for not having my headlights on.
Nice.
And if I was smart enough, I could probably fight it to say, well, I had 2 white head beams on.
Yeah.
So
You could have pushed the issue probably.
right.
Yeah, it's funny how like you do all the cheapest little modifications to a vehicle whenever you're that age. You know, exhaust. You know, I remember saving up like a couple months, $250. I got catback exhaust put on that little Colorado. I had a little 4-banger, just
Loud as you can make it.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. Thinking back,
You
on
know,
it.
that Grand Prix, it was a 3100 engine, like the small engine, not the 3800 cool engine that all the good ones had. The little 3100 engine, single exhaust. I put a Flowmaster on it.
Nice. Yeah.
You know,
Maybe a little rumble.
now you know that penis head is go out to that door thing. Is I put a backup beeper in it. I spliced the wire to the reverse light, and as I'm backing up my little 4-door grocery getter, beep beep. The looks I get when because we'd go park somewhere and you'd be in a crowd and it's like beep beep. And here comes like you're expecting like an 18-wheeler to be backing up. Nope, it's just my little Grand Prix. And then I put it in neutral and go wow wow.
Trying everything you can not to get laid.
So yes,
Yeah.
that's probably why it stayed pretty dry.
Yeah, maybe so. Man.
I felt like I had more
Maybe
action when I
so.
started riding around with my buddies' cars.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance in hell. I aged like wine. I got better the older I got.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely was putting the effort in more so than you, my friend.
So yeah, looking back, dude, I tell you what, like, I thought it was cool, and like, I see kids today, and I'll be like, dude, like that's not cool. Like, there's nothing. Like I saw a guy.
It's going to annoy you that you did that in 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was at Walmart not too long ago, and he was a young kid. Like we weren't all young at one point in time, but he was riding around on the electric cart that people with handicap and disabilities would need to be on. Mm-hmm. And then there's like an older man, like I can't tell if he was an employee or I think it was just an older shopper that was just like, you need to get off of it. And he was being a smart ass to the guy.
Yeah, just
and it just fired me
and that's
up.
what they're looking for, though.
They want the attention.
That. Yeah, and
so I walked over there and I pushed my buggy in between an aisle, and the kid wasn't paying attention. He ran into my buggy. And I was like, "Ooh!" And I'm not gonna say it wasn't planned because I knew if I got in that and it was in the main aisle, like between like where the clothes and the groceries are at.
Yeah.
Like I came across like the little Debbie snack corner, and all of a sudden, bam! He hits my buggy, and you can see that look of oh shit in his face. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, "Hey, you need to get off." Mm-hmm. He's like, "I'm putting it up." I said, "That ain't what I said." I said, "Get off." I was like, "You're being really disrespectful."
Yep.
I said, "You need to get off." Because before you hurt, he's like, well, and I was like, no, I said, get off. And he just sat there and argued me. Well, then what I call my Marine voice goes off. I said, get off. Yeah. And he got scared. Sure. It scared the Lucas started crying.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well,
yeah.
No.
And
that's a
I'm
good
over
learning
here.
point for the kid that you're talking about, and for yours too. And it's like, look, don't be a little shit. But it's not a bad thing. Is some people get offended by that. Let's say his mom would have been somewhere on the other side of the store and would have seen that, and then she would have took up for him because that's what mamas do with their babies and this and that. But at some point, if you're not going to teach them that way, expect a stranger or some elder. We're all human. We're all in the same tribe, whether you know them or not, man.
You know what I should have done? I should have got my phone out and recorded it and be like, hey, this little punk here, maybe I shouldn't use punk because then mama got mad. Hey, this kid's being real disrespectful. Yeah. I was like, post him on the unfiltered thing and be like, hey, whose kid is this? Because if it was my kid, I'd be like grabbing him by the ear and yanking him out the store. Sure. And then somebody's mama would have probably been like, we're getting on to him. Like you would have found it if it was your kid, you'd have been like, boy, what the hell?
Yeah, why didn't y'all already have him whooped when I got here?
But like I went full drill instructor on him and wound up grabbing him by the ear and pulling him off.
Would be a big pet peeve of mine going back to that. There's no sense in being disrespectful. Somebody failed you at some point. Right. Didn't teach you that.
So his buddy talked some sense into him. He got off the cart and he went out, and I put my hand in the seat and drove it because I felt like a hypocrite if I would have got on it and drove it to the front entrance. Yeah. So I walked it to the front entrance, parked it, plugged it up, and then like 20 minutes later we go to check out, and him and his buddies were back in Walmart, and they were over there. We were at the self checkout, and he walks over the corner. He's like, "How you doing, sir?"
He just wanted another.
He just wanted some more. And it's like, but I'm not. It's like
eat shit, kid.
Yeah. And it's like, it is what it is. It's like he's gonna get about as much as I did as a teenager.
And if he would have been there by himself or whatever, and his buddies wouldn't have been around, you never would have heard another. That's a similar thing at the hayride at school this past Halloween. Yeah, a kid was giving this old woman just a heck of a time, and I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't ever remember being disrespectful to adults. I just don't. Now, there was times where I thought it was justified and maybe ran my mouth. But even now, that was probably uncalled for on my end, too. I should have just shut up.
So, it's, I don't know, like that just really bugged me. And I don't know. And I see, and looking back, it's like, dude, I'm about to hit 40. Speaking about hitting 40, I've got there's a guy I was in boot camp with. His wife's throwing out a surprise birthday party for him, and she's been trying to get people to say, "Hey, say happy birthday." So Wesley, I'm gonna say happy birthday to you, buddy.
Happy birthday, Wesley.
I think he's hitting his 40th birthday too.
Right on, man.
But
I appreciate your service.
I hope he has a good birthday because it's I look back and boot camp. I'm kind of going back and reminiscing on boot camp a little bit, but dude, boot camp was so fun in some ways, but it sucked when you're in boot camp.
Yeah, but then when it's done, you're so glad you did it, kind of thing. Yeah, and I can't speak on that, but I can kind of understand what's the motto? Embrace the suck kind of deal. Yeah.
Right, and the biggest thing in boot camp is the fear of the unknown. So like once you get past everything and you're like, yeah, I did all this, you get out and you look back, it's like, dude, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy.
Yeah.
But it's like you were afraid because you didn't know when you woke up what you're doing the next day. And so you're living in that suspense of what does tomorrow bring.
Yeah.
And you kind of get, hey, we're going to the pool. We're going to do this. We're going to rifle range. We're going to you get the general schedule, but you don't really know what you're about to get into.
Sure. Yeah, it might be 12 hours of just absolute
suck.
shit.
Yeah. I mean, hell, every person in boot camp went to church just to get away from that's your only hour of sitting there.
Exemptions, I'll take it.
Yeah. Are you Catholic? No, but I am today.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's funny when you look back. It's like there's certain things that you remember about people. Like we had this one guy that had Wrangler tattooed. I hope it wasn't you, buddy. But there was I can see his name. I can see his face. And it's hard not to see his ass because he had Wrangler tattooed right above his right butt cheek.
Nice. Yeah, that's a hell of a spot to get a tattoo.
And you can't help but to notice it because it stands out.
Sure.
Because you're in a line, you're like nut to butt, not touching.
Yeah.
But it's like there's 3 shower heads on one side, 3 on the other. And it's like you just got done doing a morning PT, so you've been sweating in the South Carolina heat for 2 hours. Yeah. And you're trying to get all the butt sweat out, so you're going through these showers in a circle in a line. Yeah. It's like if you picture kindergartners going through the lunchroom, that's us Marines going through, or recruits at the time going through getting a shower,
rinse, wash, done. Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of looking back at that, I feel bad at that I bring up the showers the first thing you remember.
Yeah.
But there's people's faces, and I look through the book of pictures, and it's like I remember that guy.
Yeah, because you get a yearbook for service.
Well, you can buy one.
Gotcha.
So you get you get a picture if you pay for it, and at this point in time, it's like, man, I've never had this much money because you're getting paid for the 12 weeks you're there. Every month you get paid.
And it's not like you can spend any of it.
Yeah, and the only time you spend it's every few weeks you'll go and get health and comfort items, some new razor blades if you need some shampoo, cocoa butter. I mean
dollars.
Yeah, and but you don't actually you don't see the money. It's like, hey, this is $5. It's like you just get these things and you go check out and they charge your account. And then when you get out of boot camp, they do a reconcile with all the stuff that you spent, and you take it out.
Gotcha. So yeah, you probably leave boot camp with a little fat stack because you've been just
3 months of working and you're getting paid to you don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, and Marine boot camp's the hardest one there is, right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
I've been through it, so it's I don't want to say anybody can go through it. It's not so much the physicality of boot camp; it's all in the mental.
Sure.
But I think Marine boot camp is the longest. Yeah.
I'm finding that out more and more the older I get. It's just you having a shitty day. Well, think about it different.
Yeah.
And I don't always do that, but I try. And you can really turn almost everything around. Man, I don't want to do 2 more hours of this. Well, just change your mindset, suck it up, and then next thing you know, it's done, and you're like, oh yeah, I did that. That's mental, big deal.
And then so I'm trying to think of some other crazy stuff. I don't know, there's a lot that sticks with you, and when you get out, there's a lot of ways that you act and handle things, and then people can tell he just got out of boot camp, just the way you act. And it's also you've got a tan from your head, from your hat.
Sure, yeah.
We call them covers, but from your hat line down is tan.
I've been asked on more than one occasion with being out with the family and kids and stuff. I'll get on to the kids one time, good or whatever. The way I don't know, I'm just a very fast, direct, to the point kind of guy. And I've had people, when did you serve? Oh no, ma'am, I did not. And can't claim that one. They're like, oh,
you're just being polite.
Like it. Yeah, and I'm like, well, no, I was just, I guess, raised right.
Yeah, and it's you're talking about getting in the military and stuff, but going to the one topic here, talking about if society collapsed tomorrow, how long could we last?
I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to be the first ones out. I think I'll wait till everything settles down, whatever it might be. Not really a prepper by no means, but COVID, we did take some steps. Little go bag. I lost all my guns though. Don't have one anymore. They're in the bottom of the lake. And that boating accident got all those. But yeah, I don't know. I think my drive to provide for the family would really. I mean, y'all might be eating squirrel,
right?
And possum.
You got to start learning to change the appetite.
Sure, yeah, and we stockpiled a bunch of like the SpaghettiOs and this and that. So that's better than dog food for a while. But this old boy don't plan on starving to death.
I feel guilty because like I look at my cupboard sometimes and I try to go through these purges where it's like I build up a lot of canned stuff and it's like, hey, we need to eat some of this. I'm not going to buy as much. Eat through more of it. Stock it back up.
But even the date on the can though is years off.
Yeah,
it could expire this year and be good for another 10. And they don't necessarily tell you that, but that's the truth of it. Canned food does preserve a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's scary. It's like I think my kids are gonna be too. Like, because if things start collapsing, like power's going out.
Yeah, sure.
You're not gonna have heat. How are we gonna stay cool? Where are you gonna stay safe at? Like, it's like I look at how my house is built and I plan for. And I know this sounds crazy, but like if someone was shooting at my house, is someone in danger? It's I look at where my bedroom's at. Yeah. I'm protected.
At least it's brick.
I look at like where my daughter's room is. It's like she has, if I put her bed in front of the doorway and somebody can shoot through the window, it hits her, right? So it's like all that's in my head.
Yeah.
So
mine, for example, I don't have a stronghold point. I have one that's decent, but like you said, the exterior of the house is weak at that point. So layout wise, yeah, it's a good vantage point, but structurally, it's the worst vantage point.
Right. Well, it's like I have very poor visibility of my front drive. Like I have cameras that tell me people are here,
but no power, and that ain't gonna help you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of blind spots, like looking, depending on what window I look at. But when I built the house, it's like I want to make sure I can see 360 degrees. So I've got places I know I can go look and see this point, and I can go look in this window and see this point. And I have in my room, I can see through the entire house at a certain spot. So like in my head, like I plan for this stuff. I hope I never have to use it.
Sure.
Like ammo and guns, like 22s there for a while. You couldn't even get 22 ammo.
That's true.
Everybody was stocking up.
I wish I didn't lose mine.
Never heard there's no time like the present to to restart.
Yeah.
But I think I should prep more for food. I think I would start starving fast and gardening. Like you how to make a garden?
Yeah. Now to sit here and lie and say I'm proficient at it, but I don't know if I'd nail it on the first year to have a whole winter's worth in a summer. But yeah, no, I know the ins and outs, how to germinate seeds, how to till the earth, about the right time to plant things, when to pick them. I know all that. Just general care of plants. Yeah, I've got the basics.
Like I can garden to get a salad, but I can't garden to get through the winter.
Yeah, but think about this too. Is I know how to garden with a rototiller. I ain't never had my fat ass out there with a hoe. Trying to pluck, 100 by 100, that's a big spot to turn over.
Right. I did the bucket method once before, and then I've tried the raised gardens. I think the raised gardens it kept some of the animals out.
Sure.
It was a lot easier to keep the grass and clean it. It was easier on your back. On
the same subject, let me ask you this, because I know what my answer would be. How would your family, wife and kids, react to hey, we got to eat this possum today?
Well, let's just hope I have enough seasoning, right? I can make anything taste like chicken.
Yeah, meat's meat. But getting them to understand, because my wife, she'll tell you right now that she's the first one to starve to death.
Yeah.
She's going to just waste away to nothing.
Because I've thought about how do I get on those like Survivor shows, I've went on some kicks where we watched Survivor for like seasons. Like I watched it one night and I was like, just to put something on. I was like, I went back and I said, I'm gonna go back to season 1. This is back in like the early. It was in the late 90s, I think it was. Back before TV was widescreen.
Forever.
Yeah, so it was a square screen, the 4:3 view. And you started watching it, and like the quality on it sucked. And like every season we're like getting through it, we're like, is this gonna be the season it goes HD? Is this the season it goes HD?
Yeah. We are very spoiled, and I think that adjustment period would be the hardest part of survival. And then you just worry about other humans. Because, going back to Jaden being scared of the dark at 9 years old, I have stressed to him there is not an animal that lives in our state that you legitimately have to worry about outside of snakes and a handful of spiders, handful of snakes even. You know what I mean? We're blessed. We don't have big cats, which is arguable. Some people say we do, but I've never seen one. You know, coyotes really ain't gonna mess with you. I don't know anybody. So my point being is the only animal you really have to worry about is the man, the neighbor.
That is the scariest part.
Biggest animal.
Because I look, it's like, would we create a society? You know, when I go back to like thinking about Survivor, it's like I remember when watching it, like 9/11 happened. You know, and I was able to like, you know, you're able to see it and like relive it, and then it's like, you know, how our country was after 9/11 was the best. Yeah. Oh, like if I could say what was the best time in America, it's hard not to say right after 9/11.
Because I mean, everybody was American. You wasn't white, black, poor, rich. You was just
everybody
American.
got to hell. Even the musicians were singing together. Like, hey, we're just one. We're united. Like I love that. And then the post effects of that was good. We fought together, and then it's like we started falling apart again. So, like, looking at how fast we fell apart scares me because if we have like an apocalyptic situation, it's like, dude, like, I might have to take one of my neighbors out. Like, are they going to come try to steal my chickens? You know, and then can my family survive? Like, I don't know. I can't take my wife camping.
Yeah.
If I can't take her camping.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, though, is, you know, we talk about what they can't do. We talk about, like you said, 9/11, a disaster bringing people together is all the things that we ignore in our comfort life right now. That apocalyptic situation,
it's gone.
Yeah, all that's gone, but the appreciation for that little time. Hey, sun's going down. We do have a meal. Hey, I'm not on my phone scrolling mindlessly like we talked about last episode. Right. You know what I mean? Is hey, son, you know what? Just how's your possum taste? You know what I mean?
We got a possum trap sitting out right now too, so I'm hoping that we can catch it tonight. Because man,
are you down to eat it, Cody?
What's that?
Are you down to eat it? I'm really down to do it.
I don't think I can eat it though.
Dude, my granddaddy ate more possum than me and you could imagine.
Right? I'm gonna wait until I have to. You know, I want to learn. You know, look when the when something falls apart and the country's going down to hell.
Tastes like shit when everything went.
No, I want something to do. I want to be able to have the opportunity to be like, okay, how do I
pass time?
I don't want to go into the end days and be like, hey, I'm an expert, guys. Like I already know how to.
What if it saves your life? You know, you get some robbers and stuff come up, and you're like, boys, y'all I got the best possum this side of the Mississippi. If y'all don't.
I'm gonna be like the food wagon. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna want me to come to their camp because like I'll know where to look. You know,
old Cookie Cody.
Yep. That wound up being my nickname, right? Yeah. But you know, I want to be able to make good food. But then it's like having the ingredients, you know, and it's like The Walking Dead. You know, you start thinking about like that, and it's like, you know, it really our country.
Stifling gas 20 years after everything went to bullshit.
You know, it's gonna be so tough, dude.
Yeah, and it would be, but I mean, the ones I don't know, you overcome and adapt. I think if I don't get taken out by another human quick, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say we ain't gonna lose some weight and be real dirty, but
I think I can survive for a few years.
Yeah. Outside of
it's gonna be like playing the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
You know, like one of them's gonna wind up dying of malaria. The other one's gonna get bit by a snake.
Sure.
And it's gonna be like one or two of us that make it, and then it's.
No, it was sucking. I hope it don't happen in the next 10 lifetimes, but you don't ever know. I would like to do a better job of being prepared for it though. You know, but it gets pricey quick.
Mm-hmm.
You start talking about just stockpiles of this type of thing, that type of solar stuff, you know. I deliver firewood as a little side hustle, and got a customer. He's completely off grid, dude. 100%. Don't owe shit to no one. Lights, water. He's on the everything. I mean, he has to go buy diesel if he's feeling lazy and doesn't want to, you know, whatever.
But, you know, the crazy part is like how many people can actually start a fire?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you say, hey, you don't have like your
Harden can't.
Yeah, he can blow a house up, right?
Yeah,
you know, it's like how are you gonna like that Bic's only gonna last for so many strikes?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's like, you know, how much flint you got? You know, I bought a couple of things of flint. I actually want to be like, hey, can we go and like watching Survivors? Like, can we go and try that? Yeah. You know, and that's an activity that I've been aiming to do.
Well, and it's the little knowledge to know that when the Bic lighter's out, Dude, when I used to carry my Zippo, if somebody like, you go light a cigarette, because I used to smoke back then, and your Bic went out, hey man, let me get that pop. I take the flint out of it. Never bought flints for my little Zippo, back when I smoked. There's a stick of flint in every Bic that don't get used.
Right.
It's little knowledge like that and stuff.
Yeah, and so it's like, one is knowing that stuff, because you're not going to have YouTube to go to.
No.
Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that?
A life of smoking and doing the wrong things led me to know that there's a little more flint left in that used up Bic.
So like what kind of skills like do you think that we have, like, when we really put it to
Building
use?
is a big one of mine, I think, and you too, because you got a good understanding of building, just structurally.
It's like, hey, if I need to make a chair, I bet I could build a chair.
Well, let's say you had to bounce out of your house. Now you're in the forest. And it's cold.
How to make cover?
It's about to rain.
How do you prioritize?
What kind of material are you going to shingle the roof wrong? Are you going to start from top to bottom, or are you going to start from bottom to top? Is it going to leak? Is it not? Is it A-frame? When the wind blows, it's going to fall.
So here's what we do, and this would be really cool to even film, is to be like, hey, just randomly, like me and you talk about, hey, on this date, on this weekend, it's like a holiday weekend, like a 4-day weekend. It's gonna be like, hey, you are coming over. We're gonna go and kill power. Mm-hmm. It would be funny if we could. We're gonna have a fake bug out. Yeah. We're gonna go to the backyard.
It's not bad to do, man. A lot of people give the prepper people a lot of shit. They're like, they're making their kids out here doing this, but as long as you make it fun and educational, man, it can't be a bad skill to know.
I need to see how long we could actually make it.
I'm stubborn as hell, though, man. I'll be calling out of work, being like, no, I got a point to prove.
Yeah, it's like we throw $100 on it, each of it, and be like, all right, the last one out here gets it. Sure. And we go out in the back, we cut trees, we have what we have. You get 20 minutes to like bring what you can. Like when you show, like you get 20 minutes, and I say, hey, it's time.
Let's go.
You got 20 minutes, and you're on your way. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to my house, you walk in the door and you say, hey, it's time. Mm-hmm. And then I tell my family, hey,
get your shit.
All right, you got 20 minutes. Whatever you get in the next 20 minutes is what you have for the next 4 days.
Hit the main.
And you walk out in the back.
Here we go.
All right. Who's cutting a tree down?
It would be fun. I think it would be really fun.
Like mini Survivor.
Yeah, yes. No, I really do. I enjoy that. And all it's going to do is just bring you comfort in knowing that, hey, let apocalypse aside, dude. Last year, we got shut down for a week. Ice storm. You know what I mean?
So when the tornadoes hit, I don't know where you were at or how old you were when the tornadoes hit in 2011.
2011, yeah. I was old enough to remember them for sure, 16.
So Ashley worked at the hospital, so she was on her way home.
15.
And she had to work. Of course, the hospital was powered up, but like most of our area was out of power for days.
A long time, yeah.
And so it was the most peaceful time, especially at night, until somebody's generator kicked on. Yeah. But she's come down the road from work, and she's like, "Who's got like?" There's like a clothesline strung out across a yard, and she gets closer. She's like, "Hell, there's my clothes. Those are his underwear's hanging up."
Yeah,
like I had my underwear flying on a clothesline, so I put up a clothesline. My clothes were dirty. Yeah. Like the storm happened on there's a day that she would normally do laundry. It happened the day before laundry.
Nice.
So like all of our stuff's dirty, and I've been out helping people, so I'm sweaty, I'm nasty. So I made me a bowl of soapy water from dishwater, not dishwater, but laundry detergent, and mixed it with some water, and I washed my clothes by hand.
There's a way to do everything, dude.
I strung it out, and I hung it up, and it's like I'm doing laundry.
Catching catfish out of the pond, skinning the fish, and then frying the fish on, the propane little deal or whatever, a grill. Maybe I started a fire, some charcoal or something. Anyway, so I would have been 15 at the time. And then eating fat, dude. A Red Cross brought us MREs.
Yeah, I'm going to miss, if something did happen, you're going to run out of propane.
Yeah.
You're going to have to learn to start cooking over a fire.
Yeah.
That convenience of turning the torch on or turning on the grill, it's going to disappear.
Boy about it. We had a little trash pile build up or whatever, and he's been meaning to get it burnt. No, he ain't been meaning to. He's been neglecting to get it burnt for about a month. And we have a little torch, and I sent him down there this morning. I'm not putting it off no more. And he comes back, and now the torch, the tip of the torch is filled with dirt. He's dropped it in the mud. Well, he's got a lighter as a striker for the torch, and he brings the torch to me. And he's like, well, I can't start a fire. He's got a lighter in this hand. But the torch went out. The easy way went out. And now he's immediately like, well, can't be done. I'm like, you still got a fire device. And, it's just not a torch.
Right.
But it'll work if you put a little,
Make me think there's like, it's almost like a would you rather question, but it's like, like toilet paper. You see people use toilet paper as like kindling.
Yep.
He's like, would you rather use your toilet paper for kindling or wiping your ass?
Yeah. Poop ain't going to kill me.
Get a leaf.
Hypothermia will.
Right.
Yeah. Briar leaves. Those are the best thing to wipe your butt with, in case you didn't know.
I think, thinking about the toilet paper, and I guess that's why when like crap happens, it's like people go to Walmart and they buy all the toilet paper.
It's a luxury that you don't want to lose, but it's those luxuries that don't mean shit to me. You know what I mean? I just, don't get me wrong, I might get bored around the fire, but at the same time, I'll be like, oh yeah, well, if the fire's going, it's going to need wood, so I'll go pick up wood. I mean, the priorities change quick, especially with men.
See, I think I wish I need more trees. Because I think about that. Okay, trees provide protection. It creates environment for nature, animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I can start cutting them down, use those for building things. It's like, there's too many people. Like I get nervous because it's too populated right here.
But the bartering system comes in. You got trees. I got this. I need a tree.
Then it's like, shit really hit the fan. It's like, I'm going to have to put my chickens in here.
Yeah.
I can't leave them outside. There's animals and people.
Yeah. Basement, concrete floor, you're good. Yeah. Put them down here. Yeah. No, but and that's the thing too, is, it's like every day we trust somebody to stay on their side of the yellow line as we pass by.
When people get hungry, they're going to do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to trust. Trust is going to be so hard to have.
Here's a moral thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I won't mention his name, but I think a lot of him. He had, we worked together, so that this type of conversation come up all the time. He said, am I wrong? And he was talking more on a religious standpoint. The man provides, protects for his family biblically. Is he sinning? Is he wrong if he goes to farmer in this situation, goes to farmer and says, sir, my family's starving. Can I have a quarter of a cow? I will do anything as far as work, help, protection to earn that quarter of a cow, but I have nothing to trade you for the quarter. Farmer says, no, fuck off. I ain't doing it. Bye-bye. Get on out of here. Whatever. Well, family's still starving. He tried to go back the right way, so now he comes back at 2 o'clock in the morning and takes the whole cow. Is he wrong? What's your opinion?
So
it doesn't have to be religious, just morally. Is he wrong?
There's two sides of it. There's two rights and there's two wrongs. Is he wrong? Yes. Mm-hmm. It's his fault he doesn't have a cow to begin with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the farmer did what he had to do. Mm-hmm. He prepared. Mm-hmm. He prepared, and now he's got what he needs. When in his family's, he's getting provided for. Mm-hmm. Good job on the farmer. Mm-hmm. Your buddy, unfortunately, you talk about them, and there's Bible verses that cover this whole thing, right? Okay, it's
you ain't supposed to steal, but
even on the like being prepared, right? Like there's things you're supposed to do. Yeah. Hey, winter's coming. If you're going to be and this is not, I'm not calling him lazy, but like there's parables that talk about if you're going to be lazy, okay, when winter comes, you're going to be hungry.
Yeah, you need to plan for that cow in advance. Yeah.
So this is where I say there's two rights and two wrongs, because there's also, talking biblically about it, there's also where it says, hey, if he's hungry, feed him.
Yeah.
Hey, that he did not prepare.
Yeah, he came to you honest and upfront too.
Right.
And
but it's given to the needy, right?
Yeah.
So there is a...
Are you showing up at 2 o'clock in the morning to take the cow?
My kid's hungry, I am.
No, that's where I'm
because
at
this is where the other side comes at. No. Survivaling is not just being prepared. Survivaling is doing what's hard to do and being able to do it. Yeah. Right.
I might not take the whole cow, but you're gonna have half of one in your pasture.
Or is it? Do I take the whole farmer and I take his farm?
Yeah. Well, let's. You know what I mean?
Because when you get in those situations, you take a farmer's cow. What's going to happen? That farmer, the farmer, hey, that punk knew he came and got my cow.
And now you got something to look over your shoulder at.
And you piss a farmer off.
Yeah, and if he ain't there and you got all the cows, well, you ain't got nobody coming for the
because
rest
now
of them,
what's the farmer going to do? The farmer's going to say, if I don't get rid of this guy that took my cow, guess what? He's going to take another cow.
Yeah.
He's not just going to stop at one because, it's just like you feed a stray dog, because that's really what he came down for. He came to is if you're going to be a dog and come eat on somebody else's porch, you're going to wind up getting, you're going to know where the food's at. Just like that possum I'm trying to catch right now. He knows where the eggs are at, right?
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I don't go get the eggs every day.
Let me have some of your wine, Cody.
Oh, you going for it?
Yeah, may as well. No.
This is good. We like bourbon. I like bourbon.
I have yet to find a wine that I can
But
enjoy.
this is the one that you said you don't enjoy because
that's good.
don't
So now
waste
we
it.
know.
You're gonna have to drink it.
No, I will.
But
We
don't
can power it
don't
down.
take swigs of it. You just get a little bit on your tongue, enjoy it.
Let's look at the legs. She got legs on her, Cody.
This time it's not as cold. The wife accidentally put it in the
I
refrigerator.
think it's probably better
Warm, yes. I like it.
Is that the bourbon wine?
Yep,
thing?
it's aged in a bourbon, so it's not bad. It's a cheaper wine, but it's you gotta enjoy it. The second sip's probably better.
You want me to tell you what's a good wine that we used to drink when we were of age? It's called Mad Housewife wine. Goodness,
I was thinking about going back to
gracious.
Mad Dog 2020, like it's
It
a
was-
malt beverage. It's not even a wine. It's a malt beverage.
I don't know if it was malt or not.
Now, I don't know what yours is talking about. I've never had it, but
It's terrible. It is terrible.
that's another thing is like, are we gonna know how to make? Because this is what you're gonna have to be making wine whenever shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
Beer ain't gonna be in cold supply.
I just
And water's gonna get tainted, but you know what's not gonna be tainted? You can still drink wine.
yeah. That's one they drank in the biblical days. There was no safe water.
It was a lot safer to
but
drink.
I can boil the shit out of it. Yes. No, I dabbled a little bit in the wine and stuff in the time of my life. I got a general idea. It might be rock gut, but it'll do what you want it to do.
So going in that, I'm gonna talk about back in our day. If you had to swap your life with your 18-year-old self, so you wake up tomorrow and you wake up in your 18-year-old self. Not as far back for you.
18-year-old body or my 18-year-old mind.
You're gonna be your current age, but you're gonna be 18-year-old body. You're gonna wake up and it's time to go to it's high school. We watch those movies like we go from 40 to 18.
They wrote songs about If I Knew What I Know Now.
I would love to go back.
Oh yeah.
I'd change my hairstyle.
Oh yeah, I know that you would. I know you would.
My 18-year-old hairstyle looked a lot cooler than my.
Yeah,
like I look back, it's like at
adolescent
18, I was like, I looked a lot better. Like I got some when I was 18, but not when I was like, when I was like 15, it never happened.
Yeah, no, wasn't going to with that
Nope.
haircut.
Yeah, if you can go back, dude, like what would be your biggest thing you'd change?
Just my overall personality. I was so different. I felt like I reached out for attention. You know what I mean? And just not necessarily in like trying to be the class clown or something, just like saying dumb shit and doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? I don't need that in my mindset now. And if I had that then, I probably could have been the cool guy who didn't care and was edgy.
See, I wish I could go back. I probably need to go back earlier in life because I wanted so much attention. I think a lot of that was just like I had behavior issues. Could have stemmed from like home life and things like that. But I think if I could go back farther, I'd go back to try to get into my earlier years, like 6th grade years.
Yeah,
and
I
really
been
change
more
a lot.
involved in sports. That's I really think I lost a lot because I wasn't unathletic. It's I had to work and stuff in 16, and then I don't know why I didn't really. I had a brother to get back and forth to school, and I don't know. I just took responsibilities more than I took what I wanted to do, I guess. But yeah, no, I would have pushed that because if I would have put the work in and stuff like I want Jaden to do now, I probably could have been pretty decent at sports, I think.
Yeah, I think I could have been better too.
Yeah.
I look back and it's like my dad tried to get me out to do more. Like if I could practice more at home, it's like I was one of those. I'd show up and practice when I was at practice, and I'd play during a game, but I wouldn't really put the effort in between practices, right? And that's what I tell kids today, and I tell my own kid, it's like you've got to put the work in between A to B. You can't just show up and do a 20-minute practice or 30 minutes of practice and expect to get better.
Let's make this popular, is what I was telling you earlier, what I preached to Jaden. Every sport you can think of through all time, people are born good. Hey, I'm just
people are athletic. Some people are athletic. Some people are not.
Natural at basketball. I can do this and that. Ain't not a near none one of them was born great. As you know, Michael Jordan, he wasn't born that good. He shot God knows how many balls. You know what I mean? All your big time guys, you know, you put the work in. When it's not time to work, you don't ever stop, and you just get obsessed with it. Those are your great people.
Yeah, it's like my son he's smart. He's not like super athletic. I mean, he's got talent, and he can hit a ball, he can run. He's not the fastest, you know, he's not the most agile. But like, we played 10 and under soccer, and I had an argument with one of the referees one night, and because he called my son offsides. And in soccer, like if you can think about like there's a like you're more in football, right? So if you drew a line down the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the field, when you are on your side of the field, like this is the goal you're defending, this is your side of the field that you start on. If the other players from the other team all run to your side of the field and you run in front of one of them, but you don't cross that line in the halfway through the field, like you're not counted offsides. But as soon as you go past that half line mark,
so you can't press.
Well, in a way,
yeah.
So like offsides is you've got the last two defenders. So the goalie is one defender, and then whoever's on that defensive side of the line is the person you got to stay in front of. So you can move and press up, but as soon as you pass that second to last person and somebody kicks you the ball after you're past him, you're offsides. So this team that we were playing,
that just keeps you from getting ahead.
Yeah, like
that makes sense.
So this team we were playing left their goalie, but they had like all their other kids came on the other side of the field. So like they were all like super pressed, right? Like really heavy on the side of their side of the field. Well, Lucas sees that, and it's like a swarm of bees chasing like a flower or whatever, and it's like they're all huddled up together. Well, Lucas is smart enough to say, "I'm not getting in the middle of that." Coach told me, "Hey, I need to get out," and so he would get out and go towards the goal that he's trying to score in, but he wouldn't cross the line. You could, when I watch him, you'll see him run. He'll look at the line and he'll turn around and look at the line. He's keeping an idea where that line is, and he's keeping himself in front of it, because if he steps on the line or over it,
he's penalized. Yeah,
and they kick him the ball, he gets
dude.
So he's playing smart. Well, it happened.
Nothing wrong with that.
He was like 5 yards away from the midline. The ball got kicked around in the middle. Like 20 kids were kicking the ball. Not that many. 10 kids were, he kicked the ball out. Then one of the kids sees Lucas open because he's been there. He kicks it to him. Lucas starts to run, and the whistle blows. And so Lucas is getting
cheating my boy.
Yeah. Well, he's and I get frustrated and I get passionate about is like I'm teaching these kids how the rules of the game, the laws of the game, and it's like this. He's learned the fundamental. He understands it. Yeah. He's making a strategy on the field on his own. He's listening to me and he's strategizing and he's working with his team. Well, then he gets in trouble and he looks at me and he's like,
"Dude,
what did I do?"
Dad?
Yeah, and I was the one he was mad at. He was mad at me. He was disappointed at me because he did what he was told to do, and he got in trouble for it.
The refs took you.
Oh, I got frustrated.
Yeah, I can see that too. I don't know, dude. That's a smart thing. That ain't nothing. Dude, that's a superpower in its own. Professor Xavier was in a fucking wheelchair, and he was the baddest ass X-Men out of all of them. You know what I mean? He really was. I don't know, Jaden, and he's very smart too. But just scared he's getting a lazy bug, dude. I'm really scared that he's getting a lazy bug. I see it all over him.
You know, I think sometimes it's that expectation, like you want him to work as much as you did.
Yeah.
And it goes into the subject. He's like, if we go back and tell ourselves what would we do differently, it's like
I'd have played more.
And, you know, and it's like you're trying to tell him because you can't tell yourself anymore. Like it's too late. You can't go back in time.
Sure.
But he is you. 20 years ago. Yeah. You're trying to tell him, hey, look, buddy, I'm telling myself, as I'm telling you, if you do this, trust me, buddy, you're going to be in my shoes one day and you're going to look back and say, he was right. He's like, my dad, he wanted me to play catch with him all the time. Like, hey, come home from work, let's go play catch. And I wouldn't do it. I'm going to play Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, now you want to.
Ah, man, that's the best. Like, if I talking my kid to go play catch with me is the best thing, and he doesn't do it as much as I want him to.
I'm gonna say I'm a little backwards. This is, Well, it's the time of year right now too. I ain't making excuses, but dude, wintertime sucks. Dark at 5 o'clock. It's for the birds.
I left work the other day. It's like 5:30, 5:45, and it's like there's still sunlight outside.
Yeah,
it's like, oh wow.
I noticed the days are getting a little longer.
Oh, it's getting better.
Yep. So when that rolls around, and I don't know, it don't necessarily. Me and my boy went split firewood today. I mean, I'm talking about. I had him humping it.
I can't even get mine to pick sticks up, dude. I made mine cry trying to pick sticks up. It was so bad. Like I was so like as a dad, you get disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. I think Jaden's got to the point with me where he's like, dude, I got one of the most stubborn, hard-headed ass dads. Like because I would be kind of waiting on him with a big log. I mean, big log. I'm rolling them. And his only job was when I busted them up, we got a vertical splitter. And when I busted them up is make room. So, I'd walk away, go get another one, come back with one, and there'd be 6 pieces on the ground. That's, tough for him to pick up, but not impossible. And he's looking at me and he's like, oh, shit, he's waiting on me. I seen the pressure on him. Never said nothing or whatever. Just me waiting on him. He was like, ah, damn it.
He's humping it.
Yeah, trying to. He's like, I don't want him waiting on me because he's about to say something.
I need to send Lucas over there when you're doing firewood one day just to see if he can do it.
Building. It is great character building. It's work. It sucks. It's work, but it's rewarding too.
So is there any advice that you would give yourself when you're, if you go back and have one of those like Star Wars pit that, where like they're talking like the Obi-Wan and it comes up in a spirit?
Man, quit trying to be everybody, what everybody wanted you to be. You know what I mean? I wasn't the point guard on the basketball team and stuff, but I seen how people enjoyed his company and he was just who he was. Hung out with the guys that partied and, smoked pot all the time and did stuff they weren't supposed to. And they were just who they were. And I was stuck somewhere in between, just like, I got friends everywhere, but nobody really knows who I really am. And that's where I think I screwed up a lot. And it probably cost me, some relationships as far as friends and girlfriends, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just be yourself. You quit trying to impress people. You ain't got to say the funny thing all the time.
You're always trying. Like you feel like you tried too hard.
Trying way too hard. Dude. Who gives a shit what you think about me? You know what I mean? It's okay.
That's a tough.
Man.
Like really, just when you think like there's a book that I started reading. It was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I want to read it. Yeah,
it's a cool.
It's
like
still in my
at
queue.
first, I was like, you're not just going about like just saying like f off on everything and screw life. But there is a lot of things
there's
like,
shit
what?
That's worth time and there's shit that ain't.
If you like wearing a pink shirt, wear a pink shirt. If you like the way something smells because you like the way something smells, then wear it. It's like
and
you want to do it, do it.
If somebody has a problem with what you like, man, there's probably not the people that you invest your time
cares,
in.
Right?
Fuck him. Yeah, so what are you going to do about it?
Right. So if I go back and give myself advice, this one's going to make it a little deep because it's like, one, I would tell myself to talk less and shut up and listen.
That's a big one.
I got a review on one of my reports recently. As a manager, like it's like I need to talk less. It's good for a podcast. Maybe this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
But in like a professional environment, it's like I will talk too much. I will try to explain. Hey, this is a bottle. It's made of glass. It's tall. It's long. It holds contents. You can put fluids in it. It stands up when you said it. It's like I didn't have to tell you all that to make you understand what a bottle is. Hey, it's a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a glass bottle. Okay, your mind knows what I'm talking about.
And in the management role, it's like if you're having to explain why that bottle is what it is to me, maybe I
lose people.
It's
one of those things where, like talking to a customer, I'm trying to explain an issue, and it's like I want to be so detailed in what that issue is. I want to explain it so much. I want you to perfectly understand it that I add 5 words to every 1 word that's needed.
Yep. I've learned a lot of that in my work lately.
But I look back, but I've always talked. I've always seeked attention. I've always wanted to try to be right.
Yeah. It's nice being the shit. I mean, humbly speaking, like when you're the guy with the answer, or you're the guy that knows how to fix it, and ain't nobody else know how to do it, or you got it done before somebody else had to go do it. Yeah, absolutely, it makes you feel good. That's what every human wants. They want the attaboy.
But the other advice. Don't trust anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
I know this sounds bad. I have put so much faith and trust. Hey, this person will do me right. Mm-hmm. Hey, this person's in for the best interest. Mm-hmm. Hey, this person's looking out for me too. Mm-hmm. I believe this person. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. I've trusted so many people, family included.
Mm-hmm.
Trust has hurt me more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, my expectation thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's not so much don't trust anyone, but lower my expectations of people.
Yeah, and that's got to be something that comes with age, I think, too, because as the older I get, man, my circle has gotten just tenfold smaller. I mean, it's about down to the point where it's, as far as outside of my family goes, you and your family's about it. You're about the only, I guess, friends that I hang out with on a regular basis, and that's okay. It's not that,
It's not against people,
no,
but
I just don't have the time or the emotional
capacity,
availability to let you involved in my life to that point. Because if you're involved in my life 5, I'm involved in your life 5. I'm never going to fall short on my relationships. I'm either going to match them or exceed them, and I can't give anybody else 5.
and I'll put it in this perspective. Like, think about, like, as you're, like, trying to become successful in life, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we're all trying to be successful. Some people just want to push a button, and they're happy with that. Mm-hmm. I can't be happy just pushing a button. No, like, man, I got to do something bigger. I got to move up. I've got to be more than what I was a year ago. Yeah. But
and even when your leaders come to you and they're like, "Hey, I need you to do this," instead of being like, "Hey, that's not my wheelhouse," or "Hey, that's not that," you're like, "Okay, I'll try it."
But that trust goes into. It's not that I don't trust people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's.
You just don't want to be let down.
I think so. Like, if I'm trying to get a promotion or if I'm trying to earn something, I have to earn it for me. I have to do it for me, and I have to be the one that busts my tail to get it. Mm-hmm. I can't just expect, hey, he told me he's going to give me this. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to get this if I do this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to earn it. I'm going to find whatever way I can get what I want. I'm going to go after it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the drive that makes you want to be great. I don't know if you can relate it to this, but over the last summer, if I remember right, it was a hot day. Being a coworker of mine at the time, we ended up putting in, I don't know, about 14, 15 hours a day. It was 8:30, 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, I hear
you. I think we got the little ones above the studio right now.
Mine, ain't it?
Right, it sounds like they're both of them. Yeah. They've gotten loose. I think Margarita Day has gotten to the wives, and the babies are on a run.
Yeah, we'll probably have to fix them one more when we get up there. But help me out, Cody. Where was I?
I lost. You got lost when you started hearing the babies crying.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Funny how it does that. It's coming back to those annoying noises that we don't like, them pet peeves.
Right.
Messes me all up. But no, anywho, it doesn't matter. But let's see what we got. Would we survive our younger self? No.
It's when you look at something you thought was cool. So, like, when you look back at your 18-year-old self, like, what did you think was really cool? And we talked about some of that earlier in the beginning, but with the type of cars we drove and the crazy stuff.
That's the only thing I cared about. Girls.
I made a lot of bad decisions with girls when I was 18.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
The people I picked, if I could, that'd be something else.
Yeah.
Pick somebody better.
Yeah.
Pick someone. Don't live in the moment. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only got enough blood to think with one head at a time. Yeah. Once that dick gets hard, it's like I can't. You know what I mean? Guys, we do what we do. Yeah. We're guys.
You get young and stupid. What was that? I can't remember how that. You're just full of piss and vinegar, though. But I do miss my drive at 18 as far as work ethic goes. Man, dude, it just seemed like, my anticipation to get off work and, yeah, sure. My anticipation at the time to get off work or go see that girl and stuff, it was always there. But it's like, hey, man, what I was saying is, and this will make it relate.
Squirrel moments, yeah.
This will make it relate. Is we're long day, we're tired, man. We stopped and I think we got like a 6-pack and we're drinking a couple beers on the tailgate, looking up at the moon and stars and just talking about life. And I told him, and he's a little older than me too. I was like, look, man, we're gonna miss the feeling of, I'm talking about dragging your feet tired. You've lifted heavy stuff all day. You're mentally whooped and this and that, and you get to drink that cold beer at 9 o'clock before you go home. Yeah, or I think it was probably later than 9, but we were just sitting out there in the parking lot drinking a beer, and it's just thinking back and appreciating that moment of how tired I was, how it felt to drink that beer, how rewarding it was to kill the day, and then knowing in that moment is one day you're gonna be like, 80 and you're gonna be like, boy, I wish I could go work my ass off. Because, you know, I see it in my granddaddy. He's 83, 84. And with my new job or whatever, I haven't really had time to pour into the firewood deal that me and him was doing. But, I mean, he's just itching to just go up there and wear himself out. You know what I mean? He's like, man, I just wish my back was a little sore. I wish I stunk. You know what I mean? I wish my hands were dirty. I wish I was drinking that beer after a 14, 15
There's so much that you wish you could do now.
I wish I had that 18-year-old attitude.
I asked Lucas the other day, I said, hey, you know, like, I just want you to remind you, buddy, like, grandparents, they get old, and one day they're not going to be here.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to have those conversations, you know, start talking about, hey, what was it like when you were young?
Mm-hmm.
Talk like you and me are talking right now.
No.
What was it like when you were in school? What was it like growing up? Like, what was the trip to the grocery store like?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't have Walmart at the time, you know, and like, so, you know.
And it puts appreciation to it, too, because I remember being my boy's age, 9, my oldest one. And I had, which I was raised by my grandparents from pretty much baby to a little after 9. So I did hear all those stories and stuff. So it's like what my parents would have been telling me about their childhood. I'm a generation behind. So, you know, I'm hearing about my granddaddy going and buying, you know, 4 sticks of dynamite for $0.25 at the general store when he was 9. And they just give it to him because that's what his
now you can get some matchsticks, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, now you can't buy a big lighter unless you're 19. It's like, what? So
it's like getting sinus medicine today. I got it's getting carded. It's like it was harder for me to get Sudafed than it was to get alcohol.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they took all that shit out of the Sudafed now. So
Probably
it's like you don't.
You know, it's like, do you want? She's like, the question was, do you want the 12-hour or the 4-hour, 4 to 6 hour? I was like, I don't know. Can I get one of both? Because I don't know which one I like better.
No, one box.
They only got
time,
me one.
Cody.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm over here like, I hope they don't think I'm a tweaker.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking around like, I don't look like that guy. I got most of my teeth.
No, I don't know. Times change. And I do think that's why I relate to, I don't know. I guess me and you know you're 10 years older than me, but I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 this year. That's okay. I'm an old soul, I think. And I think that term's way overused. But I really do think so. I think I'm a little, born a little late as far as the way I was raised. But when you're raised by old people, you tend to have old values.
In 10 years, you're going to look back and be like, man, live your life like you're young. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reminiscing. You know, I've only got a few weeks of my 30s left. I'm looking back and saying, like, what would I do differently if I was, you know, in my 30s? I'm like, you know, like, is 30s where your prime's at?
Yeah.
Like, I've got everything I would want right now. I got my family, materialistic things, my job. You know, I've got everything I would want. Is it going to be my 40s? You know, I hear some people say their 40s is like that's the ultimate like life for them. But what I forgot to ask is, were you in your 40s with young kids or older kids?
And see, that's the thing that separates us a lot too is, and I commend you for it because I don't know, my wife wants the 3rd kid. And my biggest thing on it is we're not ready. Everybody says, oh, you're never ready for it or whatever. But, you know, if y'all wanted a 3rd one outside of, you know, whatever, is you can financially afford it. You have the room to make a nursery and this and that. You know, we're over here still struggling in our first home, done outgrowed it tenfold and, or twofold, I should say. And, it's like, man, that's a lot of pressure. So financially and all that side of it, I think that you're in better shape, but the energy side of it and stuff, I could definitely see and sympathize on, you know, when you're running back and forth and coaching baseball and, you know, carrying your 9 to 5 and carrying the home life and stuff.
It's a lot.
It's a lot for me. And I'm not even 30 yet. October rolls around, I'll be in the 3-0. But
And I'm feeling it more like the sleeping and
I bet
in the knees. Which, you know, I'm a big guy, so like the knees and ankles, you know, I feel those pains. But you know, I feel the even the attention span. I think that's what bothers me is like, you know, going back to those like pet peeves. It's like if I was 10 years younger, I'd be a lot easier to get along with. I'd be less like, hey, you want to be loud, be loud. But I think now that I'm getting in my 40s, like I'm too old. I'm becoming an old grumpy man. Dude, when I get in my 50s, I'm going to be a pain. Nobody, hey, you're in my yard. You know, hey, get the fuck out of my yard.
Yeah. But even being almost 30, though, I can definitely sympathize with the the feeling different. I'm not sitting here going to tell you I'm old because for the longest, is a wait till you get my age and stuff. I get it. It ain't going to get no better. But I'm telling you, man, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'll put it to you this way. If 29-year-old me had to whoop 19-year-old me, I better get it done really damn quick. Because 19-year-old me is going to smoke me in the third round, dude.
Looking back when I was in the Marines,
Yeah.
I'm 18, 19 years old when I went in.
Was that the best shape of your life?
It got me in the best shape of my life, man. I was able to do like 17 pull-ups.
Gotcha. So you were saying
and I could barely do two or,
your peak physically?
Yeah, and in my mid-20s, actually, when I got out of the Marines, I got back into shape just as good as I was, but except for running, I was able to run like my three miles, and it was like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the low 20s. I was in the low 20s. I think in boot camp early 19 minutes something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like so it's 6-7 minute miles.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, like I can hump it.
Yeah.
And then it's like the older I got, in the military, the older you get, hey, you got to do it in 24 minutes now.
Yeah, they give you a little.
You get 8-minute miles
on the time.
So it slows down, but it's like I was in great shape.
Yeah,
and I felt great. I wore some tight ass black. I'm and I was always a muscular guy.
Yeah.
So I never was like super skinny. Like when I went into boot camp, I was like 203 pounds.
Yeah.
And like I was overweight. I had to be like 195.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like stocky.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always struggled to be on the number, but I'd always get taped and stuff and I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean.
So I was the exact opposite. I was born small, had been small up until I think my second year of marriage. And then somehow or another, shed here got built. And I think I graduated high school at 145 or 150. Just bones, dude. And my wife tells everybody I look like the concentration camp, the kid in the striped pajamas.
So, looking back, I think I had to be 190, 187 to go into boot camp.
I'm 190 now.
And I think I went into boot camp at like 190 and I had to be 193.
Mm-hmm.
One of those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
When I got
a minimum or a maximum? That was the maximum.
Yeah. So when I got out of boot camp, like none of my clothes would fit. I had to find a buddy of mine. His dad was a real small statured guy. I was like, hey, can I borrow some pants so I can go shopping?
Yeah, I can't even hold these up.
I was 140 or 150 pounds. Like I'd lost over, I think about a third of my weight.
Yeah.
And
that's just something I've never struggled with. My metabolism, man, I remember I still eat whatever I want, but
I was like that when I was a kid.
I hit the 200 mark here, I think last summer or whatever. And I was like, okay, some shit's got to give, dude. I ate one time a day for like 3 months, lost 10, 15 pounds. So I am blessed on that aspect. But 185, 190, that feels good.
I was a stick when I was born, and in my early years of school, when I was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like my great aunt was like, "Yeah, one day I couldn't find you," and she was looking for me.
Turn sideways.
I laid down inside of a tire.
No kidding. That's funny.
I think I fell. I think I took a nap. There was like a tire swing or a tire laid up against something, and I laid in between a tire. So I was like in that day it was like an R15, 280, 05, whatever the number is. But like I could lay within that tire, and I was a stick. And then I got in like third grade, and I fucking got fat, dude.
Yeah.
I was a big boy in school, and I asked my mom. I was like, "Mom, it's like now as a parent, I talked to her as a parent again now, and I'm like." Hey, what would like? Why did you not like do something about my weight? Because like that has lifelong consequences.
Yeah, for sure. No.
Like she was my parent. She was supposed to control what I did.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not buying Pop-Tarts no more. You're getting fat, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not drinking Coke anymore. Like that was her job. And so I have some. As a parent, I'm like, I wish she would have parented my weight better.
Yeah, let's say Lucas was, all right, so my boy's about 110. Let's say Lucas weighed 140 pounds right now. What's your regimen?
I'm getting snacks out. And like and then I would have to take him, me and him would have to go on a weight loss journey.
You have to lead by example. Hey, son, I lost 40. Did you lose 10?
And I'd have to be there to get, I'd have to get, I'm the one that brings, if I bring Little Debbie snacks in and you're getting fat, that's my fault.
Yep.
If I'm bringing Dr. Pepper in and feeding it to you, that's my fault.
And even me being, like all I got to do is quit eating for a couple months and I can 10, 15.
Learn to
easy.
cook better meals, healthier meals.
So with, because Jaden, I foresee he's going to be my bigger bone boy, not having my genetics per se, is.
But there's stockiness and there's being overweight.
That's true. And I don't think it's time to worry about it at 9. But when you start hitting that, 13, 14-year-old mark, that's 12, 13, 14. That's when you're like, your body's becoming your man body. It's starting on that. So let's start it on a good note. Hey, dude, we need to get that weight in check. We need to get that muscle tone in check. You need to be able to carry yourself because there's no reason of being 19 years old and not being able to. I framed houses when I was 19, 20. You want to talk about athletic? I may not have been able to run a football 80 yards, but you want to talk about wearing a tool belt with.
You can hump it all. You can make it.
I can do pull-ups all day, climbing rafters. I was a monkey. I mean, literally, I'm just climbing all over shit. But I was 140, 150 pounds.
You know my mom's answer to that question? Because one day I had to ask her. I'm like, Mom, why'd you let me get fat? You know what her answer was? She's like, well, I went without as a kid, and I just didn't want to see you go without. And I kind of sympathize with that. So she would let me have seconds, and she would go and starve. Yeah. I'm like, screw you, Mom. Like, you should have ate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, now I feel guilty. Bones, it's like, you shouldn't have done that. No, you should, hey, this is your meal. This is your portion, and this is my portion. And I see different generations, like my wife.
And when you're done with your meal, I need you to walk around the block.
Yeah. When my wife was growing up, like her grandpa, he fixed his plate first. Yep. Kids could wait.
That's how it was then. Yep.
And then as the new
woman, kids.
And then as the great grandchildren came through, it's like, hey, let's fix the kids a plate.
Spoiled.
And then the grandparents would then fix a plate. Like it flip flopped.
Yeah. Well, there was not enough food to go around, so the important people had to eat first. And then it became there was too much food to go around. So hell, we'll just give it to the youngins when we know there's going to be enough left.
So on that, I think we're about ready to wrap up today's episode.
Yeah.
I lost my track of time over here, but I know we're well over an hour.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Wife's probably ready for us to get up there anyway. Are we going to go through the Would You Rathers?
Let's do it, man.
All right, man. I'll give you the first one. Would you rather confidently explain to a group of survivalists how to start a fire using a magnifying glass at night? Yeah. Or have to convince a bunch of kids that quicksand is still a real threat?
Ooh, I'm going to go try to explain fire. And I'm going to have to say, AI had did a bad job on these Would You Rathers tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pick your mind on that a little bit off camera. You got me curious on how the hell we're going to do that. But go ahead and hit me with 2, Cody.
So I'm going to hit you one. Would you rather relive the most embarrassing thing you've ever believed as a kid every single day, or have to explain to strangers why you still carry all the groceries in one trip?
Oh, that's easy, man, dude. I'm lazy. If I can struggle for 5 seconds and get it knocked out, that's what I'm doing.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give another thumbs down to this question. Like we should have looked at these. We were trying to surprise ourselves with these.
Who did this? Chat?
Yeah, I did the GPT on this one.
Damn you, chat.
So
it'll get better.
Hey, would you? But maybe this last one's good. Would you rather stub your toe every morning out of bed or bite your tongue once a day?
No, this kind of is like a Lego thing, but the tongue biting, man, I don't know. I'm going with the tongue.
Ooh, I'm gonna stub my toe. I hate getting those burns when you take something out of it. Yeah. Man, enjoy the episode. We'll see you next time on this. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, we'll knock one out again in the next day or 2. Appreciate you if you're listening.
Third ending right here. Third time. Hey, Dadalogues. Unfiltered.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Stay classy. The wine sucks, Cody.